just wanted to say it. She got beautiful. It's funny, I had so much to say and now I can't think of a darn thing. What was I?
You said I was beautiful.
Hello everyone, it's Doris here, otherwise known as Knittynina, and welcome to episode 22 of the Knittynina Diaries. You can hear Lily already saying hello to you. She is as excited as I am to be back here with all of you. This is my first episode in 2024. Yay! So excited to be here. If you're a new viewer, incidentally, just stopping by, this is a channel that focuses on my passion for the fiber arts. You're going to see lots of knitting. You are going to see crocheting. You are going to see some embroidery, quilting, baking, things of that nature. And our little channel mascot, Miss Lily, always coming to say hello. If you are a returning viewer, a very warm welcome as well. Welcome back. So excited to be here with all of you, and can't wait to read some of your comments and see how you're doing. I've got lots to show you that I'm very excited to do so. So why don't we just, how about we just dive in and kick it off? You know Lily, she's insane. She wants it to be, oh, you're stretching. You're stretching. Is that what you're doing? It's stretching. Okay, while I give her a little more love, I'll tell you that it is February. I can't believe January passed us by already. I hope that you're all, I'm sure, working already in some of your first 2024 knitting, crocheting projects or embroidery. So I can't wait to hear all about what that looks like. So why don't we go ahead and drop this little girl down nicely so she can let us talk. I'll get a sip of my tea. This is a mug. Isn't that cute? A custom mug that my friend Sheila gave me over the holidays. So I've kind of been using it for my tea these last few weeks and just loving it. So let's kick it off with my first project is a pair of Faire knitted socks. I have done color work in the past. Mainly with either a cowl. Actually, I have a cowl design that I did in Faire. I should pop that in the note section down below. But I also done like color work in sweaters, pullovers, and this is my first time doing color work in socks. So it was pretty interesting. These socks are called the Minipli socks. They are a pattern by Catharina Duden. She goes by Ducathi, D-U-C-A-T-H-I in Ravelry. Again, these are the Minipli socks. I will pop a picture of it right here, some of the colorways of other folks that have done these. I did these with let's talk about the yarn first. I actually had shown you the beginning of this work in one of my last episodes of 2023. I think it was back in September. But this is the yarn that I use, and it's called Lankava, as you can see here. And I talk a lot about it in that episode. It's called Mainio. It's 100 grams, 260 meters of superwash wool and 25% polymade. And it's just a very great, affordable yarn. It comes in beautiful colors. It's a Finnish yarn from Kauhava in Finland. I guess it looks like they were established back in 1925. So certainly a presence and an icon in Finland with this yarn. All these amazing colors. I did an olive green, if you can see, an olive green with a cream. And then the middle little spot is a chocolate brown. So that's the yarn. I did the cuff. I knitted it with a 2.25 millimeter. And then I also used a 2.5 millimeter. I think from rows 1 to 42. And then I changed to 2.75. So they look rather small. I can fit them in, but I've got to tuck away at them. I think I was a bit of a tight knitter, and I shouldn't have, not necessarily tight knitter. Oh, Lily's going to hit my camera. Let me put her down. But I didn't need to catch the floats. So I think that would have helped me with the stretch a little bit, but look at the back, the inside. I mean, the inside in itself feels like a complete design, you know? So, I mean, it would have helped. I think the second one I was a little looser, and you can see it's a little stretchier. It does fit me. It's snug. But now I know in the future I might go up just a needle size, but the work is just, I mean, the pattern is just so beautiful. I did a heel flap and gusset. Let me show you that. See if you can see that. In the olive green. It's so pretty. And the interesting thing about this, and not necessarily a challenge, but it was kind of my first time decreasing and following the chart. It's a charted pattern. So you really have to focus on, you know, again, bringing back the same number of stitches and trying to keep in pattern as you're doing those decreases to return to the original leg number of stitches to go back into the foot. So you can see this, the kind of the decreases there, if you will. So that was a new. Certainly not a pattern to binge watch a Netflix show. Yeah, will I make these again? I believe I will, in a different color, obviously, and I might just go up a needle size to give it a little more give and not catch the floats. But I love them. It's definitely a pattern that I will repeat. Again, the Minipli socks by Catharina Duden with the Lankava Sulo Finnish yarn. So they are finished. Yay! I might do a little hat or maybe some gloves with this pattern. Who knows? Okay, so let's move on to the next. project. The next project that I want to talk about is, why don't we just talk about my sweater? Hello, the sweater I'm wearing. This is the big mammoth project that I finished. This is called I have it here all in front of me with my notes. This is called the Lastlong Pullover by Ailbiona McLochlainn. I hope I am pronouncing her name correctly. Again, the Lastlong Pullover. And it is a pattern, just a beautiful fisherman's rib pattern. I'll talk a little bit about some of the details of what I loved in this pattern. But she writes that the Lastlong Pullover is a play on words that speaks to the enduring mythologies of fishermen's garments. Lastlong means cargo ship in Irish Gaelic, so I learned something new there. Whether you find yourself battling the elements at sea or wading through puddles closer to home, this sculptural take on the fisherman's rib sweater is a cozy, wearable classic. Indeed it is. And I want to pop in some pictures of some of the details here up close that you're going to see of this beautiful sweater. I knit mine. So let's kick it off with what I knit mine. Just this beautiful, I don't know if you can capture it, rich blue. And I have my label here, so bear with me because I have all my labels here that I organized. This was knit with Plucky Knitter. The Plucky Knitter the Plucky Knitter Scholar is the yarn. 250 yards. It is 75% merino and 25% cashmere. And the colorway is Dancing in the Moonlight. A beautiful, rich, just gorgeous, like midnight blue. Oh my gosh. I mean, I hope you're seeing how gorgeous the colorway is. It's been spectacular. And I actually used around, I would say, I used 7 skeins. I knit the size 6. They're asking for a minimum of 8 inches of positive ease. Because she says, according to some of the instructions, that the fabric's tendency is to compress, so it may reduce the circumference measurements by 10% or more in everyday wear. So for that reason, she's suggesting a minimum of 8 inches of ease, or 20 centimeters is recommended for women. And then obviously this pattern is also available for men, and the recommended ease for that is 10 centimeters, 4 inches for men. The arm. So when I kind of picked back up the stitches, I just immediately started doing the decreases because I got a little bit of ease here that I wanted it to fit a little tighter. So that was a big change I made. And then I did do a split hem, and I can show it to you. And the back is a little longer. I don't know if you can see this. But, and that works nicely. So, yeah. Oh, and then the rib, you finish it up with a ribbing. So you go from fisherman's rib to that 1x1 ribbing. And the arm length is around a little past my wrist, which I kind of like because it kind of covers my hands a little bit, and then I can go walking in the cold, and it's just It's a gorgeous sweater. Gorgeous sweater. I'm trying to see if I did anything else. Again, I divided for the slits at 14 inches from the underarm. And then I kind of worked until half. I worked the half in the back, and then I worked the front. So, yeah, loved it, loved it. Will I do it again? Definitely. It's a great sweater. It's just a classic sweater. I might do it in a kind of a maybe light charcoal, something that would be easier on my eyes. Because the thing is, you know, when you drop a stitch in Fisherman's Rib, it's not like your traditional stockinette, right? That you can just go back and pick it up. I mean, I had to go into YouTube and really look at all the different techniques to pick it up. Pick those stitches up and ensure that I was following the pattern. So that was just a bit of a challenge, but you know, just easy to work through. But yeah, I am super excited. It was just a big project. I love it. I love the color. I just think it's a rich blue. I've gotten a lot of compliments on the color, and they're like, hey, where'd you buy that sweater? And the other thing I want to say about the sweater also is that, actually about the yarn, the Plucky Knitter yarn, is that I didn't get much pulling, so I didn't I just worked through a full skein and then picked up the next skein and picked up the next skein. So I didn't alternate the skeins in terms of every other row. And I think it worked nice. I don't see any pulling. It has a rich blue. Now, one thing, and I'll put some video on it. When I was washing this, the amount of water, ink, the dye that came out, there was a lot. It was like an ocean, a blue ocean. But I'm glad I did it. I had done a swatch too. Here's the swatch. Do I have the swatch here with me? I do not. But I'll pop a picture of it. But yeah, it was a lot. It bled a lot. I mean, it was the dye there. It was there, and it was all nice and rich and blue. But after that, you know, it was great. And it still really kept that rich blue color that I was going for. So again, that is the Lastlong Pullover by Ailbiona McLochlainn. So definitely put it on your 2024 knitting list if you haven't knitted it so far and are excited to look for a new sweater. The next thing I knitted, and I gifted it, so I'm going to have to show you some pictures because I gave these socks away last month in January. I knitted them in January. From the yarn is the West Yorkshire Spinners. It was their signature 4-ply. And the colorway was Holly Berry. I knit this on a US2 needle. It was a classic vanilla sop recipe. I cast it on 64 stitches. I'm putting pictures of here for you to look at them. 23 rows of ribbing, and then I did around 9 inches, equivalent to 71 rows before I divided for the heel. I kind of like them long before I divide for the heel, and I did a heel flap and gusset, and then I did around 42 rows after the gusset before I did the toe shaping, and they turned out just great. I can't wait to make another pair. I had enough yarn to continue working on a second, maybe small pair, but very, very nice. So that's that. And then the next pair of socks that I just finished this weekend. I've been in a sock mania right now. I don't know why. I just wanted to have like palette cleansing of color because I had knitted so much blue that I just wanted these like bursts of color. These are, go figure, I did do some blue here, look at me. These are my finished pair of, these are Retrosaria Rosa Pomar. yarn in the colorway. Hold on, I have it right here. This is just a gorgeous yarn. Again, Retrosaria Rosa por Mar Mondam. Love that label. It is in the color 208. And I did the cuffs. I worked this from the cuff down to the toe. And I did the cuff, the heel, flap, and gusset, and the toe on Miss Babs Yummy 2-ply fingering yarn in the color navy. But I'll put pictures as well. But look at just the colors are so pretty. It's got this burgundy, some splashes of a little bit of olive in this, and then some deeper shades or soft shade of pink or mauve, if you will. Just a really nice pair of socks. I've been wearing them with my sweater and a pair of brown boots, and it's beautiful. Very warm. Can't complain. And again, I did these. You know what? I don't know if I mentioned this, but I knitted them. I usually knit on a US 2, and I started it on a US 2. But this yarn really just grew. First, the Miss Babs yarn. See how this was the cuff? I mean, the cuff was just so wide. So I ripped it all back up, and then I had to rip a little bit of the body that I had done here. I mean, the leg. Because just the fabric was coming out too open. So I brought it back down to a US 1 and kept those 64 stitches of cast on. And that seemed to make a really nice fabric. I'll take it off so you can see. And just nice and kind of even and still fits beautifully. So that is that. And then my last knitted project, or I should say my whip that I'm currently working, another pair of socks, is this is a gorgeous yarn I had in my stash, and I just love the colors. I'm going to show it to you first because those colors are just doesn't that speak a little bit of spring there, and kind of getting excited to see green and pastels. And let me show you that. And it is, wait till I tell you about this yarn. It is scrumptious. It is so cozy and squishy. And this is a beautiful find called White Gum Wool. White Gum Wool. And it is from a company by the name of whitegumwool.com in Australia. It is ethical, super fine merino from Tasmanian Midlands. And it's 8-ply, so it's kind of like a worsted. It has 236 yards or 236 meters. 100 grams. The color, this one is Wild Flower. Look at those beautiful pastel-y pinks, and it's got these blues and purples and burgundies. The shade number is 018, and I am using a, I should have written this. What is it? I have them here on my needle. A 4mm, I think that's a US 6, and this is what I have so far. I mean, come on. And this is the same yarn, but in a color pink, and I'm doing the ribbing, the cuff, and the heel, and the toe will be in pink. And I cast it on 45 stitches, and I did a knit 2 purl 1, And what else can I tell you? I cast it on 45, yeah, and then I changed the colors. I'm getting 22 stitches, gauge, 30 rows for 10 centimeter on these 4mm needles. And I am ready to split here for the heel, divide for the heel. So it is turning out really pretty. And I mean, I know that this does not have nylon, so I don't know if it really will be a power horse in terms of sock wear and tear, but I'm just in love. And it is so soft. I mean, I just want to put these on with some lotion and go to sleep and just keep my tootsies all nice and cozy and warm. I mean, it feels so cashmere luxurious. Yeah, I am definitely loving it. So I can't wait to show you how these come out when I'm done with them. I just started them over the weekend, so we'll see how fast we can get through these. But they're knitting up pretty fast. And then the last project I wanted to share with you, and I do not have that with me because it was gifted. It is a special quilt I made. And I worked on it maybe in 2023, and I finished it in time for the holidays. And I can't wait to show you videos and show you everything about this quilt that I hope that you enjoy. The block I used to do this is called the Sister's Choice Quilt Block, and it's kind of a perennial favorite block among quilters. And it's a 5-patch block that consists of central 9-patch of a central 9-patch, and it's flanked by contrasting squares on each side. So I'm going to put a picture of that. Half the square triangles are positioned along the outside squares of the 9-patch, creating a beautiful star pattern. Just gorgeous. And the person I made this for is Sally and Mike, and they have a very country flair in their home, country style, and beautiful antiques. And one of the rooms is very like country Americana, so the colors were chosen specifically for that room in the colorways that I know would really enhance the beauty of that family room they have. So I'm going to pop in a lot of pictures here as we're discussing this. This was all pieced by machine, obviously hand cut, pieced by machine, and all hand quilted. So I quilted it all by hand, including attaching the binding. That was quilt by hand, sewn by hand. So you'll see videos of me quilting and certainly sewing that bind off. And then the other piece I made was part of the quilt is I cut a piece of fabric and made a label and did like hand lettering. You know how I love hand lettering, especially my first episodes, you would see me hand lettering. So I kind of hand lettered in this like friction pen, you know, the name of the quilt, that it was hand quilted, the year of the quilt, I named it for them. Just putting all those essentials to pass along generations, and then I embroidered that by hand. So hopefully I can show you a picture of that. And just a lot of thought went into it. And again, I've known this couple for over 20 some years, and you know, she is like a sister to me, so hence the Sister Choice block name. And they loved it. They loved it. She loved it. I took, again, some video in her farm, And I just can't wait
Oh, yes, you
to
do.
create another quilt this year. I get that quilting bug every year, so I look forward to start thinking up of something I want to quilt. And this one I'm going to make for myself. So can't wait to share all that with you. Well, let's see. Well, that's all I've got for you folks. And I want to thank you again for taking the time. I know you have many podcast choices out there, and I appreciate all of you from the bottom of my heart that you hopefully decided to stick around and watch the whole episode. And again, I really hope that you go ahead and subscribe to the channel, as it really will help me grow it. And ring that little bell, click on that bell, because it'll notify you once I upload my next episode. Please tell me what you're currently working on. I cannot wait to hear what's on your needles or needle. If you're crocheting or sewing, tell me all about it. How has your 2024 kicked off? What are some of your top projects that you can't wait to cast on? And I look forward to responding to each one of you. So once again, thank you so much, and I will talk to you very soon. Until the next episode, keep on making, guys. Ciao, ciao. Bye.